Well, as you can see from the background, that's the mock-up of the hobby shop that's in the AMA museum. And I like that photograph because it reminds me of the 50s and 60s. And I'm an oldie type guy. So tonight, what we're going to be working on, as you saw last night, I put the glass on the nose here, and it's I hardly sanded it at all. I did it this morning. I cut off the excess and hit it once or twice with some 320, and it's perfect. So if you follow my methods, what I'm getting at, if you follow my methods, you should come out with a halfway decent setup. So tonight, what we're going to do, I did the inside of the cowl last night. I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself, and this came out real nice. And tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to put the glass on the outside. Now that'll take a few steps to get done, and hopefully I didn't get nothing on the floor here. No. Okay, good. Okay, so let's go back to this cam. There we go, and we'll point it and transition. Thank you, Craig. Thank you for everything. I'll respect your wishes. I just thank you for everything. All right, so you saw that the nose came out perfect. We're going to get the perfect results on the cowl. And how we do that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Everything I do is pretty simple, except for winding and unwinding the fiberglass. So I gotta unwind the glass. Let's cut off the same end that we cut off the last time, which I don't know where that is. This stuff is like angel hair. It's unbelievably fine. Okay, we cut off that end. So it should be about the same. Remember, you got to do this on the bias, but you don't want to cut it on the bias. You want to cut it more or less straight. And we're going to need some pieces here. Let me put this away so I don't get her messed up. Like I say, it's $18 a yard. I mean, it's not a big deal, but kind of hate to throw any money away, so best take care of it. And this will do, probably 10 airplanes. I ordered some other fiberglass from another company, but it still hasn't got here. It's a good thing I got this at the hobby shop. I'm still waiting on it. It's been like a month. So put it back in the bag. $18.33. What an oddball price. But it's an oddball shop, so that makes sense. Okay. So we got it on the bias. We're going to need a few small pieces that are not on the bias for a complicated shape such as this. So we'll take that piece off that edge. And I guess we'll take this off this end. Cowls are always messy. So we're going to mix up some of the epoxy again in a solo cup. Okay. So as I've stated before, this is not a science project. You don't have to go through any elaborate measuring stuff. I do it all by eye. Add part A. You'll notice by the bottles, just my eyeball, you can tell that I get the mixture pretty good because they're right same. But you got to understand, I've done this more than once. They're pretty even. So we'll take a popsicle stick. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this first, and then I'm going to cut out some of the wing fillet doodads because now I can glue them on. I have to make up my mind how big a doodads I want on the leading edge there. And you'll get to see how that's done. This will be a productive 1 hour session. We might run a little long tonight. I don't know. We'll see. And get the old Harbor Freight acid brush again. And you want to put on a pretty good amount of this stuff here on the balsa. Now when you make these parts, they all have to be finished shaped. I mean, you can't afford to, once the glass is on it, you're done, I'm done shaping. We're going to get it smooth, but I'm basically done shaping. I hate cowls. They are messy. I'm going to get this stuff all over my hands. I don't have any paper towels, so I have to use toilet paper. Remember, we redesigned that and cut that hole, cut that big square out of there. So that's the hair. I got to. Guess I can hold this in. Yeah. Okay, you wonder what are those small pieces for? Well, even though we're doing this on the bias, you can't, there won't get any fiberglass up in this area here. So this will probably get some super fill on it in spaces where it's not exactly perfect up here in the nose. I'll put a little super fill in there and sand it to shape, but you got to do that after the glass is on. So take this. God, I hate this. Always so messy. Okay. Get in there. Yeah, we won't worry about it. It'll be fine. I am probably going to leave more resin on this than I did the nose. Because if you start pulling on it, it'll kind of come off. So it's on the bias again. That way it goes around the corners real well. Except I'm having a hard time here. That's a trick that most people don't know about fiberglass. I haven't seen anything on YouTube that tells you about on the bias, but just like covering a wing, pull all the wrinkles out of it. I think what I'll do is instead of doing anything off camera, I think I will clean this up tomorrow on camera to show you how quick it goes and how it looks. How to get this all cut and smoothed out. We'll do that on camera. I don't know if this resin's good for you on your hands, but my hands are so, I mean, I work with all kind of stuff. So this is pretty low grade here. I think DC 540 was probably worse for you than the resin. Add a little bit of epoxy there. And that's basically how easy it is. And this will sand out perfectly. Let's see how much weight it added. I gotta wipe my hands off though. Oh. Yeah, I've done it once or twice. Sorry about knocking the camera around. I gotta walk over to the television to see what's being said, and I got a million wires and trees and lights and nonsense in here. It takes practice. I'm hoping that you guys get a little inspiration and what the heck's going on? Weighs 4 grams right there, but we'll get most of that off of there. Now just let her sit. Now see, I wiped most of that resin off of there. And tomorrow when we sand it, I'll sand it back down to its original weight, or maybe a gram more. But I think this cowl is still going to come out probably 2 grams heavier than my normal cowl does. I didn't have the best wood for cowl, and I didn't get it as thin as I normally do. Shouldn't have done that. They're left well enough alone. Okay, we're going to set that aside. That'll be fine. If I get any touch-ups, I'll touch it up. So now what we're going to do, we're going to do my wing fillet doodads. I'm not going to add super fill yet, but I am going to make the plywood fillet things. So that's all going to depend. How big they are is all going to depend on how much it weighs. I mean, that's how I do my design. How much does it weigh? So I think we'll get that much. Okay, I've got I don't know, that's probably 4 inches wide, 4 inches round. That ain't right. Now this is going to be different, but I want to start out with a 90-degree corner. We know this end is 90, so we'll put that there. Yeah, these will probably not be as big as my other ones. I can't remember what I used on my other ones. We'll use this. So let's see how that looks. I think that's going to be plenty big enough, because I don't want to gain too much weight. But we're going to have to make two exactly the same. And these little nippers go right here. So I need to cut off 3/16 of an inch on this end here. You say, well, how do you know that? Well, it's just a matter of eyeball. That thing ain't no good for that. Let's try this ruler here. Remember, folks, you got to try to build an airplane in your bathroom. That should do it. This would be the bathroom sink countertop. So that's the line I marked on it. Okay, let's see if it fits. Perfect. Okay, flip it to the other side and see if it fits. Perfect. Okay, so I got to make another one exactly the same. Pretty close. We'll sand them together. So we have two pieces that are identical. Got to make sure that everything I do is trial and error, fit and refit. So they go on this way. Okay, how do they go on there? Well, I have to see if I can find my machinist scale now. I know it's here. I just haven't got around to. I need that toolbox that my buddy Dan's making me. Otherwise, everything's in the kitchen drawer. Can't find nothing. Well, hell, bells. What the heck happened to it? I got 3 of them here. This is kind of an important line. That's why I need that machinist scale. So I could try it, I guess, with a ruler. Come on. Oh, got it. Okay, it looks like I've been using it as a standing bar. That's why I couldn't find it. So take off the sandpaper. If you don't have one of these, I suggest you get one. About $6, you get 2 of them on Amazon. It's down to a 64th, which you're never going to need because a pen line is wider than a 64th. But so we're gonna. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to move you back over here. It's at 1.5 inches center line. Okay. If you don't get these right, this will screw you up. Can't see. One and a half. And I got a mark on this side. Yep, 1.5. I'm not sure, but I think that if you got these on wrong, it might make your airplane fly weird. If it was pointed down or pointed up. And I don't want this one to fly like a Mercury, so. Well, that's interesting. My new Instaset accelerator didn't come with a snorkel. Hopefully. All right. I swapped out tops. Okay, so first thing to do is get it right on that line. A little tack. Come on. Might have to use a thicker set CA to get it to stick. Now, if you're going to do this, you better be a good shaper. I don't recommend doing this type of doodad. It will probably take me I don't know, 8 to 10 hours to get it shaped right. So not only does it have to be parallel to that, it has to be parallel to the leading edge of the wing. I think we got it. Okay, that's one. Oh, shoot. Sprayed down some CA onto the... What happened there? Oh, well. I'll sand her off. This thing's got a lot of pressure in it. I should have used my old one. So, which side is which? Yeah, it goes on that way. Or is it the other way? It goes on. Goes on this way. So, on the line, Come on, stick. Get a sight down from the front, make sure they're even. Looks pretty good to me. Let me turn this one off too. Man. I'll be glad when summer gets here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use some of this medium set CA because that thin set just didn't want to act right. So, there we go. Now, this will get super filled in here, and this will get blended in. It has to be blended in perfect. It's real hard to do. It's a real complex shape. So it goes this way and that way and this way. So there's going to be a lot of sanding right there. And that little detail there probably cost me a 1/4 ounce, but I don't care. It's just too cool. Now the inside of this I Z-epoxied last night as well. This is all completed here inside. And we'll hit it with a little paper. Like I say, you know, your airplane should look as nice inside as it does outside. You're not shooting for a 20-point finish inside, but at least have made an attempt to make it nice inside. You gotta remember, it takes off a little weight. Some guys were asking me on the forum or sent me a private message about this floor here. It does nothing. The only thing that it does is stiffen the nose. It doesn't hold the tank or anything. It separates the tank from the muffler area. So I know a lot of times I don't even do these, but I did it on this one because I wanted a real solid nose on this, because if you watch the build of this, it's keyed into the fuselage doubler and it's keyed into F2. And I mean, that's as solid as a baseball bat there. You could not, it's like one solid piece there. You couldn't squish that. No way. So now when it gets these fillets on here, this thing will be rock solid on the nose. And a solid nose is essential for a good engine run. If you got a weak nose, the motor will be all over the place. That's why Randy, I don't do it, but Randy takes his motor mounts and runs them all the way to the top of the wing. That transfers the load of the vibration of the engine out into the biggest point of the airplane. Good idea in theory. I don't do it because I don't like all the extra hardwood. And if you know that I cut my fuel tank sits back into this wing this far, it goes inside there. Because I'm trying to move all the weight back towards the center of gravity, especially with the heavier engine. But if you're going to do that, you better build light. So this will get doped and primed inside here, or maybe not primed. I'm going to try to stay away from the primer, I think. Trying to use all the lightest components I can get a hold of. And if I start adding back heavy stuff, it kind of defeats the purpose. So give me an idea how far back the tank sits. That's how far it would be, or right there would be, if my wing wasn't notched out. So we'll put it right there. Right there. So it would be right there if my wing wasn't notched out, but my wing is notched out and I moved it back an inch. Sometimes I move them back a little farther, but I didn't want to get too carried away on this one. But we moved it back. This tank has some room to go up and down. However, the way Kaz makes his tanks, I haven't found any reason to shim it up off the engine bearers yet. You know, Kaz is a stunt flyer, pro stunt guy. Kaz worked for Honda. This is probably Honda made. I mean, it's super nice. And it's kind of crappy looking now, but they're 28,000 yen, or $105 plus shipping. Doesn't matter. Whatever it costs is what it costs. Well, I hope it gave you a little inspiration. We're 50 minutes into this. A little inspiration on doing this stuff. It's real simple. So that I measured down from the datum line, 1.5 inches, put it there, and it's right in the center line of the wing. It'll all be tapered down and tapered out this way and tapered up that way. It's like I say, it's a real trick to do, and that's why you have to use the Z-epoxy and get the glass on the nose before you start sanding there. Otherwise, you'll dig a hole. Because it'll take a lot of sanding to get that right. As a matter of fact, got a piece of glue on this now. I got to get that glue off of there before I start. Perfect. thinking about changing up the canopy some. I wanted it to look like the original, but the canopies that I have just don't fit quite right. So I'm thinking about doing something different. If I do something different, it'll be lighter because it'll be a smaller canopy. But tomorrow when we come back, I will sand up the, or clean up the cowl. If you listen real good, you can hear the difference in sandpaper pitch. You can hear the cloth in it. You don't want to hear that cloth. The nose of your airplane is going to take minimum 10 hours work to make look right. I know it sounds like a lot, but it goes really fast when you're in the realm of things. The way that this is looking, I still could make the nap for this airplane. I don't know. I'm looking to have it finished by the end of next month, April. Then we'll start another one. We'll start the RC airplane, or I don't know, maybe get back on that already Bearcat. I just wanted a couple of competitive airplanes for the season this year. I got lots of airplanes, but I'm always striving for the one that got away. That little detail there was well worth it. Hey, buenas noches, Marcos. We had another Marcus on Stunt Hangar, Marcus Cordelio. Must be related. But he passed away. Benet is, let's see, from Brazil. Yeah, Benet Rodriguez is from Brazil. I know Benet real well. Thomas Case. That's a nice thing about this hobby. I mean, if we meet people from all over the world. It's a common interest. And when I went to the Worlds in 2004 in Muncie, there was guys speaking Russian and Chinese and Ukrainian and Japanese, and I couldn't understand a word they were saying. But when they showed me something, I knew exactly what they were saying. It was kind of neat. All right, that nose is sanded out. You can't feel any of these bumps here. Remember, don't use just your eyes. Use your hands to feel. Can you feel that bump? Because if you can feel it, you'll damn sure be able to see it. And once that's painted, you'll never know that that line was there. And in the last 3 minutes, I'll go over this. If you remember how this nose was here, I put superfill in this. Hey, great. Thank you. I put superfill on this before I put the glass on it. You can't feel that nose ring now, and it's exactly tapered right into that nose ring. And it will come down to the spinner. And be a smooth transition. I'm going to have to make a spacer for this back plate because it's set up right now for a prop extension. And we're not running a prop extension on this airplane because I wanted to get rid of some of the weight. Okay. It came out perfect. Perfect. That's what we like. Hey, my Z-Pox is already starting to set up. See? Nope, you can't. Z-Poxy is setting up already. In a couple hours, I'll be able to. I'll refrain from cleaning it up tonight. I mean, theoretically, I probably could go over it right now and take the excess glass off of it and start to shape it, but I'll wait till tomorrow. Let's see here. Please like, subscribe, share. When you subscribe, there's that little bell. Ring the bell. You have to select all notifications to be notified when I come online. And immediately it'll tell you that I'm online, and I come online Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Charles has the Mondays and Friday night, the hangouts. But if you want to learn how to build these model airplanes, I show different things live every program. I mean, I know it's not a polished movie, but some of the guys like the live format better because you can ask me a question. But if you can't ask me a question here, you can always ask me on Stunt Hangar. So we'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.